College clarion call. Come be a strong and youthful band. For God and country, freely pledge we all. By the flag for which we stand. Blue for the mind that speaks the good and true. Red for our prowess in the game. White for the glory of a heart that's pure. Bright with an ever shining flame. Alma Mater, thee we hail. God give thee us and great success. With truth and love we'll conquer all. For God, our land and SFS. Alma Mater, thee we hail. God give thee us and great success. With truth and love we'll conquer all. For God, our land and SFS. With truth and love, let us united be. True to our glorious college name. High on the hill, a beacon light is she, leading our children on to fame. March on to glory is a message bold. Spread truth and love both far and wide. Loyal to the hands to reins of guidance hold. Teacher and pupil side by side. Alma Mater, thee we hail. God give thee us and great success. With truth and love we'll conquer all. For God, our land and SFS. Alma Mater, thee we hail. God give thee us and great success. With truth and love we'll conquer all. For God, our land and SFS.
A very good morning to our esteemed dignitaries and participants present here on this platform. I, Ishita Gajphiye, student of BCCA final year, welcome you all on behalf of St. Francis de Sales College to the 11th day of the 3-week student development program. In welcoming and introducing the chief guest of today's program, Dr. Sujit Gajanan Rao Mitre sir, who is going to talk on the topic, the role of students in enhancing quality in the context of OBE. Outcome-based education means clearly focusing and organizing everything in an educational around what is essential for all students to be able to do successfully at the end of their learning experiences. Dr. Mitre sir is the principal of SV City College, Nagpur. Sir has done his BE, MBA in Finance, MA in Economics, MCom, PhD in Investment Management, and has cleared NIT in both Management and Commerce. Sir was the former principal in Dr. Ambedkar Institute of Management Studies and Research. Sir was also the former principal of Datta Megh Institute of Management Studies, Nagpur. Sir was the panelist for 25 national and 15 international conferences. Dr. Sujit sir was awarded with the Best Professor in Strategic Management area from IDMBA Hyderabad. He has 6 MTP Certificate Award from SFFI for teachers in the Strategic Management area. He has a research output of 27 publications in ISSN, including Scopus Indexed Paper, and has 8 publications in ISBN. He is a recognized research supervisor for PhD students. 9 students have been awarded PhD under his guidance. Sir has conducted a session at Indian Studies Seminar organized by Pridi Benyamyong International College, Thailand. Dr. Sujit sir was the trainer for NCFM mutual funds and financial derivative modules. He was the reviewer for 3rd PAN IIM World Management Conference, IIM Indore. Sir was a reviewer for 3 Scopus Index journals, co-authored book titled Performance Management Practices for IT Companies. He is the member of BOE in Business Management as well as former chairman of BOE in Computer Application RDM Nagpur University. He is the former member of BOS in Organization Management Pune University. He was the resource person in various research methodology, refresher, and orientation courses at RTM Nagpur University, SGB Amravati University, and Gondwana University. Sir is a member of AICTE and AIU committees. Under extension assignments, Sir has initiated, conceptualized, designed, and instrumented a mega project Abhiyan for a social cause demonstrating the power of a management institute to shoulder social responsibility. He had formulated and conducted many research and consultancy projects which are well accepted and commercially used by the organizations like Ancon Services Nagpur, Strategic Capital Corporation Private Limited, Nagpur Branch, MICL Nagpur. Sir has assisted in formulation of revival project to be funded by Government of Japan in association with IFFCO titled Revival of Business of the Vidarbha Cooperative Marketing Society Limited in Vidarbha region of Maharashtra state. It is a great honor to have you amongst us, sir. But before we commence with the talk, I request our participants to please post their queries in the MS Teams question and answer and YouTube live chat. Now, without much ado, I would like to hand over the proceedings to Dr. Sujit Mitra, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ishita. Thank you for that nice and lovely introduction. I will straightway start sharing my screen. Hopefully the screen is visible to you. So as it is said that I am currently principal of SB City College Nagpur, and I must thank your principal for giving me this opportunity to share my views on this relevant topic of the day, which says role of the students in enhancing quality in the context of OB. Wherever I start conversation with new students, and specifically those who don't know me and they don't have any experience of interacting with me, I always start with a sorry, because there can be certain things, there can be certain issues, the way I communicate, and at the end of the day, it might give you a feeling that you are stressed after going through this particular session, although it is not the objective of this particular session. I want you to laugh at the end of this session, but then definitely there has to be certain deliverable through this session, because you are attending and you are giving, say, 1 hour 60 minutes of your prime time, right? So 60 minutes is not a short time to change the orientations, and that is what we are trying to do it now. So I'm saying sorry in advance in case something is not digested by you, something is not accepted by you. Please forgive me for that, and try to go through the deliberations henceforth with open mind, right? I can have a disclaimer that it will not harm you in any manner, right? So I will dissect my topic. First is the role, and for me the role is the function of somebody in a particular situation. And I assume that your occupation is a student and learning is your hobby, or at least learning is your function. You are a student who is studying at a college or a university. Enhancement means improving something or to make something at least look better. Quality refers to the high standard, and outcome-based education and the context in which I am going to speak, right? So outcomes necessarily relate to your own abilities, and education to me is something which changes your behavior, or which is targeted at bringing in change in your behavior, right? So that was a brief dissection of my topic, and probably it will set the context clear in the sense that you will also know what we are going to talk about. So we'll be talking most of the session on this outcome part of it, right? So I understand that being the part of such a great institution, you understand this, the difference at least between the person who is a well-cultured person, well-behaved person, well-educated person, and well-studied person. So are you expecting that the well-studied person is an educated person, is well-behaved person, and well-cultured person also, right? So when I ask you a question, I'm not seeking particular answers. I'm just asking you to deliberate on those questions. That do you really think that there is any sequence to be followed? That means first you have to study in order to become educated, and once you become educated, you become well behaved, and the moment you become well behaved, you will be well cultured as well, right? So is there any proper sequence? I don't know, right? Let us go to the core of it. How many times we have observed that a gold medalist is not a good teacher? We understand in the core of our brain and heart that the person knows he has sufficient credentials, right? His biodata speaks about it. But then when that person comes to the classroom, probably he is not able to deliver the expectations. I don't know whether you have experienced this or not, but then as a student, you also understand that the sir knows, but he is not able to explain. While you observe this, you also observe a class or university topper is not successful professionally, right? So we have conducted a study which talked about the 10th and 12th class toppers. We call them merit holders, right? What happened to their careers, specifically those who were in first, second, and third ranks, right? We could see that they were not as successful as their counterparts were. Those who were down the line in the order of merit could do better. So there has to be something which is missing in the overall all system. That is what we are trying to understand, right? So rote learning is the culprit, I suppose, because the way we are taught, the orientation of ours, right? So there is something wrong, right? So we need to understand this teaching and learning in the new perspective, and that is what the educational planners in this country are doing, right? So the first question, or there are series of questions which you can go through this slide, which talks about that when most of us study is the question, right? And the second part of it is says that we enjoy study and we love to attend lectures too. And I assume that it is right. Many of you may not agree on this, but then I assume that because you came to college to learn, right, to gain knowledge, and gaining knowledge has to be enjoyment process. So you enjoy studies also, and you love to attend your lectures also. This is my assumption, and there goes 2-3 points. First is which gives you more attention, timetable of lectures or exam timetable? Most of you will agree that it's an exam timetable. Even if it is a unit test exam timetable, it gives or it catches your attention. It gives you some impetus to act upon. Timetable of lectures, and the definition of lecture in the common parlance is that lecture is something which is boring, right? Normally we say that don't give lecture to me. Don't give lecture to me. When we say that, we are giving the negative connotation to this particular term lecture, which should be a medium of enjoyment for us. But then at times that becomes a boring thing, right? Then comes the syllabus kind of thing. So what do we study is we study the syllabus, or in the more refined term, we'll say curriculum, right? We undergo curriculum. The next point suggests that what are you interested into? Is it previous year's question paper? And most important thing of them is that most of them say we are not talking about those select few people or select few students who have habit of studying regularly. They have certain purpose in their mind before they study, and so on and so forth, right? Even if the purpose is wrong, we are not talking about whether the purpose is right or wrong. We are saying that there is a purpose behind this study, and they are studying. Probably they want to top, probably they want to prove themselves, and therefore they are studying, right? But then for most of the class, the people we call janta kind of thing, right? For most of the students, this has become a reality, right? First thing we check when there is an exam schedule is that which content or units I can leave. Okay, and we go and search, unfortunately, for notes or the shorter versions of the texts, right? So if you look at what is happening to the libraries and how the librarian is feeling nowadays, then probably you can interview your own librarian saying that what has happened over this year, right? Because you are an old institution, whether you observe any subtle change in the way students student use library, right? So whether this internet and e-books have taken over the real thing, right? So we are talking not about those specific few persons who will like to read. Reading is their passion, hobby, whatever you call it, and they spend most of their time in library going through books and taking on their notes, not the ready-made notes we are talking about, right? So I being the person belonging to management field, I look at the number because research methodology is my subject, and I see the kind of markets these smaller version notes, right, have gathered. Or they even say that it is a textbook, but looking at the size of that textbook, you understand that this is nothing but this is refinement of notes, nothing more than that, right? So this is where we are when we say that we are studying, right? Right now, your question is your attention is taken to these questions. First is BA degree inferior to BCom degree, and BCom degree inferior to BSc or a BE degree? This is the first question I want to raise to you, right? You just think in your mind that whether this is a reality. BA degree is right. Suppose you say I am doing BE versus I am doing BA. Whether you see more respect for in the eyes of the person to whom you are told that you are doing BA and you are doing BE. So has it happened over the period of say 10, 20, 30 years that BA degree which still is a favorite degree in the interior parts of India, in cities it has somehow lost relevance, right? And the second question is even more relevant, which says that are you expecting a BA English literature student to get a better job than a BA Marathi literature student? We are not talking about language, or we are not fighting over language. We are just talking about perceptions, right? And final question in this row is that is education which you are taking is for knowledge, or is this education for livelihood? Right, and this is where the whole debate goes now, that if you say BE is giving you livelihood, better chances, better prospects of getting jobs, and BA is not giving you that job, probably we are taking it wrong. We are taking it wrong because there is no theory which says that one subject is inferior to other. One subject is more important to other. I can add one more thing into this set of question, and that is the numerical oriented or mathematics or quant oriented subjects are what I can say superior subjects compared to the theoretical subjects. The way we approach theory and the way we approach the numerical or practical oriented subjects, I think we as a student, right, have that thing in mind that theory can be managed very easily. Practicals you need to put more attention. Practical you need to put more attention. So what I'm trying to suggest is that has it happened to you, and is it your own personal experience also that all these three questions are giving you something which is going wrong somewhere, right? If this is the kind of sense you are gathering for out of these three questions, probably you are on the right track when you are thinking on these things, right? So see, whenever you have opted, for example, the person who has introduced me said that she belongs to BCom computer application stream. So there must be certain reason in her mind before she chose that particular stream, right? And if that is not there at the beginning, at least after going through 1, 2 or 3 years of study, at least the purpose of doing it must be getting clear day by day, right? So if that is not happening, probably I will one more time say that something is wrong in the overall process. Something is wrong in the overall process, right? So you understand that something is wrong. Something is wrong, and there is a need to correct this. There is need to correct this. The moment that is corrected, I think all the perceptive part of it, the way we look at the whole teaching learning process, the going to college, coming back to college, attempting to university exam, attempting to college exam, right? All those things taken together will count to be your education. It will count to be your curriculum, right? So let us try to correct it. Let us try to correct it, right? And what the educationalists and the planners in this domain have thought for you, you must understand this because you understand that there is something wrong in the current system, right? So let's help ourselves and SFS college, right? So that is the purpose, because just now we have gone through anthem and the last line or the repetitions were that the very purpose is to see that, right, the God, the land and SFS. So three things were clubbed together, right? So you see that this is a platform. This is a platform which will ultimately bring in some positive changes into you, right? So what the college is expecting from you is that you improve, because when you improve, I think the college as a whole will improve, right? So let's talk quality. Let's talk what will change after you get degree. Let's talk what will change after you get degree, and let's be very clear and sure, right? Even if you are not thought it before, at the time of say filling in that form, while you make that decision of a program, right? Decision of program. So going for BA, going for BCCA, or going for BCom, right? Or going for some medium also. You have made a purposeful choice. You have made a purposeful choice, right? There may or may not be sound reasoning behind that choice, right? But once you make that choice, then you must have certain expectation. Number one, from the college. When I say college, we are talking about not only about physical infrastructure, we are also talking about intellectual infrastructure. We are also talking about all the mentors which come to you in the form of your peers. They also come in the form of your seniors, right? They come in the also in the form of administrators, right? So it is not only teacher who are sharing the responsibility, right? So what I'm trying to put forward here is that whether there was any judicious thought process which said that, okay, this is a 3 years degree. Right now I am here. Let's do the self-analysis. At the end of the 3 years, once I complete this degree, I should be getting this. Meaning, I am expecting these changes to happen in me. For example, if I am not very good in communication, my communication should improve. I can write well, but I am not good at public speaking, right? So what I'm trying to understand is that, are you expecting these soft skills to be developed through these skills? Or if you say that, see, I am interested in coding, right now I don't know what is DBMS, I don't know what is C++, I want to get hands-on experience in C, C++, and maybe Java, etc. Right? If I want to have that. So are these purposes there in the mind? Are they jotted down clearly? If they are not being jotted down clearly, I can guarantee you that you don't know why you are coming daily to the college. Why you are attending lectures, you don't know, and what you know is wrong. Because if you say that you are coming to the college for attendance, if you say that you are listening to the lectures for appearing to unit test and exams, right, and you are doing this course because you want to have degree, all of these are wrong. Because the degree which you get at the end of these wrong assumptions is a wrong degree, or we'll say that it is a worthless degree. It is a worthless degree. And then you start comparing that this university degree with other university degree with a foreign degree, they are getting more weightage. Even if it is a BA degree of foreign university, it is having weightage. It is having weightage. So you need to understand that. You need to understand that something is really wrong, which needs to be created. So I am reiterating what I am saying, right? So what is expected out of you is you should be very selfish. You should be very selfish, right? When I say very selfish, you will say that should we not care for others? You should care for others only when you are strong enough. Only when you are strong enough, right? So when the very basic fundamentals are not in place, I don't expect every one of you to be strong enough to help others, right? So first thing and foremost thing is being selfish, right? As they said in the announcement of flights, before you help others, put on your oxygen mask first, right? So put on your oxygen mask first. Even if you want to help your own son or daughter, first thing first, be selfish. First protect yourself, right? Then you will be in a position to protect many others, right? So first you develop yourself, then you will be acting as a torch. You will be acting like a torch and showing path to others to become really strong in their lives. Okay, so do you know what they have planned for you? Right, I hope that because this session is kept, most of you may not be aware that what changes are happening in the overall education system, and therefore I don't expect all of you to know that what they have planned for you, And once I say that you don't know, you must know it, right? So this is what they have planned for you. They say that it has to be outcome-based education. It has to be outcome-based education, right? And what is outcome? We will be soon looking at it. But then the model, that is outcome-based education model, the required knowledge, attitude, and skill, they call KSA, right? The skill set for a particular degree is predetermined, and the students are evaluated for all the required parameters. And these required parameters are nothing but outcomes. That simply means if you are doing a 3-year degree, whether it is BA, BCom, BSc or BCCA, it does not matter. If you are getting graduated, at the end of 3 full years of study, then there is an expectation, right? And the expectations are that you are getting certain traits in terms of your knowledge base, in terms of your attitudes, and in terms of your skill set. So you will be getting all 3 together. It is a bundle, right? And you will be evaluated not on the sales that do you remember the definition? Do you remember the recession or who said it? That is not desired, right? So we are one more time hammering on this rote learning culture, right? We are saying that you have learned something, you have knowledge, can you apply that knowledge? If you have knowledge, can you solve some problem, right? If you have correct attitude, can you apply that correct and positive attitude on a problem solving, right? So skill may be coming out, maybe vocational skill, maybe problem solving skill, or soft skill or hard skill. I don't know whether it is a programming skill or not. Whatever it is, right? This is predetermined, this is predefined, and students are evaluated for those skill sets, for those attitudes, and for that knowledge base, right? So let us make it clear. Right, so this is the university where you are studying, and this is the notification coming right in the lockdown, right? 24th June 2020, and it says that it is notified for the general information of all concerned that the Honorable Vice Chancellor has approved the recommendations of Board of Studies under various faculties regarding the program specific outcomes for the following faculty-wise courses. Right, and there are courses, and most of them you will find that they are PG courses, but then see that this has started. That simply means that there has to be a clue that maybe next year they will be coming down to the level of undergraduate courses, wherein they will say that we have defined program outcomes for you, right? So what I'm trying to suggest is that this is happening at the background, right? So let us see, there are 2 things to be understood. First is program educational objectives, right? And these are the broad statements that describe the career and professional accomplishment that the program is preparing graduates to achieve, right? And when can you observe that whether these program educational objectives are achieved or attained? We will have to wait for 2, 3, 4 years after your graduation when you actually do something as a self-employed person or an employed person. What are you demonstrating on your job, right? Those skills, attitudes, and knowledge, whether it is being applied by you, and whether you are getting those accomplishments on the professional or career fronts. That is something which is needed to check, but that is 3-4 years after graduation. What is happening at the time when you are in the college for 3 years, 2 years, whatever it is? These are called program outcomes, right? That describe what students are expected to know and would be able to do by the time of graduation. So this bold letter will test on your ability to do, ability to perform, ability to analyze, ability to create, ability to evaluate, right? Ability to apply. All these abilities will be tested. That ability to remember will not be checked. Ability to understand will not be checked. Why so? Because ability to remember is rote method of learning, right? So if you know the answer to some question at your home only, that means you are just writing it and going and omitting it on the question answer sheet, right? That is not learning, because you know that next paper you are remembering something else and you are forgetting the matter of the last paper. We are talking about something which is called as knowledge base and development of knowledge base, right? So this relates to the skills, knowledge and behaviors that students acquire as they progress through the program, programs. And let us see what is happening, right? So understand what is a course. What is a course? Is MBA a course? Is BA a course? Is course meaning is syllabus, or any paper or subject is called course in this outcome based education? So without testing your knowledge, the correct answer to this question is D. Any paper or any subject is termed as course, and when you are doing course, there has to be certain course outcome. In that course, if you are taking lectures, then the lecture has to have outcome, right? So you must know that we have 7 such outcomes designed or pre-specified for you, right? And this you can get into your own NAAC manual, which is accreditation agency, or any document of UGC, right? So 7 POs for a 3-year degree given by NAAC. I will go through them one by one, right? Not into details, because that will be the case, because that will not be permitted in the given time frame. First thing that it says that students of all undergraduate general degree programs at the time of graduation will be able to, your ability, able to do critical thinking. That means whatever we are teaching you in these 3 years, what skill of yours is getting developed, you will be in a position to think critically on any issue, on any problem, right? So that simply means that we want to see that this ability of critical thinking comes into you, or you are in a position to demonstrate this ability, right, when asked for. Right? So it will involve multiple things. Second thing which is desired out of you is you should be able to communicate effectively. You should be able to communicate effectively. And when we say communicate effectively, speak, read, write, listen clearly in person and through electronic media in English and in one Indian language, and make meaning of the word by connecting people, ideas, books, media, technology, right? So try to understand, this is very important thing, and most of us are missing on this part. Either we are able to read and write but not speak, right? Even if we are reading, writing and speaking, but the last thing which is required is listening is missing, right? So we need some kind of training, some kind of inputs throughout these 3 years, wherein this capacity gets developed. I should be able to communicate effectively. Hopefully this is understood. The third program objective is social interaction, right? So what you are expected to do is the middle base. It says that it should be able to mediate disagreements and help reach conclusions in group settings. So that is a social interaction. We can call this as team behavior or team spirit. You should be in a position to act as a leader of a team, act as a member of a team, right? So you should be in a position to listen to somebody. You should be in a position to direct to somebody. That is a skill set which is required any graduate. PO4, effective citizenship. So that takes you to the country, that takes you to the society, right? So demonstrate empathetic social concern and equity-centered national development and the ability to act with an informed awareness of issues and participate in civic life through volunteering. That simply means that you should not be looking at only 1, 2, 3, 4 WhatsApp messages and making your own judgment or making your own views on the issue. They are saying that you should be in a position, or you should be able to act with an informed awareness of an issue, right? So that is desired through these 3 years of learning, right? Through 3 years of learning. PO5, you need to have that value system instilled into you, right? So understand the moral dimensions of your decisions and accept responsibility for them. So ethics is very important criteria. So UGC and NAC wants that every college giving 3 years course, right, 3 years degree or 3 year program, they must see to it that this ethical setup of a person is getting built up, right? PO6 talks about environment and sustainability. So when you are learning, when you are getting those skills, attitude and knowledge, you has to be very, very sensitive towards this environment and sustainability issues. And last one, that is seventh program outcome, is you should be self-directed and you should be a lifelong learner. Right, so there has to be ability to engage in independent and lifelong learning in the broadest context of socio-technological changes. So if something is happening, for example, this corona has forced onto us the e-learning part of it. So we should be having sufficient or knowledge, skill and attitude in such manner that we should be in a position to adapt to this e-learning very quickly. We should develop etiquettes and mannerisms to be displayed on this particular platform. When I say we, both teachers as well as students needs to demonstrate both of these things, right? Embracing the technology and so on and so forth. So we need to understand all these things, right? So if that is clear, this is also one interaction which is happening. So let us try and understand. What do you think is the outcome of this session? What do you think is the outcome of this session? So this session must be giving you something. So there has to be certain predefined, pre-specified outcome, right? So that after going through this session, the student will be able to. So which ability of yours is going to be enhanced through this process? So if you look at this, then probably you'll understand that these are the keywords through which we are trying to develop. So are we planning that you will be able to remember what I am telling you? Are we planning that you will be able to understand what I am telling you? Or next, that is higher order, we will say skills, that is whether you will be able to apply whatever is discussed, whether you will be in a position to analyze what problems or issues were put in front of you, whether you will be able to evaluate them, and whether you will be able to create something, right? Something new, which is termed as design, build, construct, plan, produce, devise, invent. So what we are trying to do is that below every broad definition, say applying. What does it mean that when you say applying in using, diagramming, making a chart, drawing, applying, solving, calculating. So all these things are, so if there is a numerical given to you, account scores, right? So if they say make a balance sheet, so it is application of whatever is being taught to you. So there are two parts. This is how do you do entry and so on and so forth, right? So that is in nutshell about your abilities. So can you think about this? What must be the outcome of this particular session? So my outcomes, which I have pre-specified, is that you should be in a position to analyze. So I'm here. You should be in a position. You should be able to analyze whatever is discussed in today's session, and you should be in a position to dissect it. You should be in a position to compare and contrast it with the existing system and the proposed system. So that is what is my outcome, my specified outcome. And when I say my, it has to be our. Unless you know it, there is no point. You should know why you should take up this session, right? So you should take up this session because you should get ability to analyze the existing and proposed system of education, right? So every lecture must have some targeted outcome. That means when a teacher enters a class, he must be knowing that in today's 48 minutes, this is what is to be covered. And while I cover this, what is expected is at the other end, right? So we are expecting a change in some behavior, change in some skill set, change in some attitude, change in some knowledge base, right? So that is what we are expecting, right? So every lecture must have some targeted outcome, and student must be aware of that. So if you are a student sitting in a class without knowing the outcome of the class, it is your duty to ask to the teacher that what is the designated specified outcome of this particular lecture. Why so? Because you must know at the end of the lecture whether you got that ability or you have not got that ability. That simply means that we are taking it to the finest level. For example, if the objective was that you should be in a position to communicate effectively at the end of the 3 years, at the end of the 3 years, then first year some course, maybe say account course, whether account course is capable of giving you something. Account course first lecture, what is accounts, whether it is capable of giving you something which will ultimately enhance your ability of communicating effectively. You need to check it out. The teacher need to check it out. Student has to be clear about whether that ability also is getting developed or only accounting skills, rules, formats are getting cleared. So you must be clear before you start any session. Right. So quality check number 1, because sir has said that after going through your session, my student should be in a position to think independently regarding the quality of education and student-centric education. That means student should be in a position to check this, that ensure this every time, every lecture, that you are aware about the targeted outcome. If you don't ensure this, you cannot guarantee quality, because you would have bought a ticket of a train, okay, and you don't know where it is going. You don't know the destination, right? So you have to go to the final destination and stopping at individual stoppages, individual stations. So you need to know that every lecture of the 40-50 lecture course has to have certain outcomes. A course as a whole will have certain outcomes. Program as a whole will have certain outcomes. Similarly, lecture will have certain outcomes, right? So you first quality check is, you please check whether you are in a position to ensure that students are aware about today's lecture outcome. Quality check number 2, ensure that you are able to do out of this, create, evaluate, analyze, or apply, right? So we are talking about only these things, right? We are not talking about understanding and remembering. These are lower order skills, right? These are lower order skills, and we don't want lower order things. We want to become graduate, right? So we want to say take up work or take up higher education. So whenever we are talking in this reference, we are trying to understand that whether I am able to apply, whether I am able to analyze, whether I am able to evaluate, whether I am able to create. So quality check number 2 is that after that understanding of the outcome of the lecture, you immediately should be in a position to guess yourself whether you are in a position to apply, analyze, evaluate, or create. Hopefully this is clear to you, right? Quality check number 3. Ensure that you let the world know that you know. So power of expression, right? Ability to communicate effectively, right? It is said that the hard skills contribute to your success, and the contribution is 20%. The soft skills, right, take you ahead. 80% of your success is attributed to those soft skills. So college and these 3 years or 5 years of your study is a platform, a very big platform, an extended platform, wherein you can check, you can test, you can fail, and finally test one more time, try one more time, and be successful at the end of it. So this is a playground where you can afford to fail. And to afford to fail, the first thing is you should be inclined to try. So that means that you first should try, and then only you will know that you can do it or you cannot do it. For example, public speaking. You should first give it a try. Before you confirm that you cannot do it, you should get a try. Once you do and once you fail, then you should seek out, saying that this is necessary. NAC wants it, UGC wants it, and everybody outside, right? The world want me that if I graduate, I must be an effective communicator. I must be an effective communicator. So I am observing that there is something which is holding me. I cannot communicate effectively in the public setting. What can I do? Discuss out your problem with your peers, with your colleagues, without bothering about them, without even thinking about them, without thinking about their time, how they will feel, whether they are comfortable in answering to your queries, right? You should simply forget all those things, because we started with something which said that we need to be selfish if we need to improve. Once we improve, try and pay back. Try and pay back. Help at least 4, 5, 6 junior of yours to be effective communicator, and you can easily find out that whether you are an effective communicator, number one. Number two, whether somebody, right, who is junior to you is effective communicator or not, right? So there are handful of people who are effective communicators. Rest of the world faces problem, and if you are also struggling, you are also finding some problem there, it is your duty to identify that if this is a required skill set to survive, right? There is no point in hiding it. Best strategy in this case will be expose yourself, try and fail, let the people laugh. Let the people laugh, because if you hide and if you survive, right, and if you go out of this particular institution at the end of your graduation, and the whole world knows now that you are not a good communicator, then it will be shame with you for rest of your life. This is the time, this is the correct time where you can do away with people laughing at you, because they are limited persons. Although in one class there are 60, 100 students, right? Only 100 know that you don't know. Only 100 know that you don't know, right? So please practice, please improve your skills, right? And once you improve, let the world know that you have improved. So participate in competitions, number one, right? So this is where people will know that students of this particular institute are good, because they are excelling in competitions. They are participating in competitions, right? Write, because nobody has stopped you in writing something in newspapers. If you read Hitwad, if you read Times of India, if you read any other paper in any vernacular languages also, even in Hindi, you will identify there are columns or days specified for students to contribute. If you are a good artist, you can draw well, you can sketch well, you can paint well, publish. Give it to newspaper, have it published. If you can write well, right? If you can write a poem, do it and send it to media. It will get published and people will know, because with your name will be the name of SFS. Organize events. That will also give you one platform to check out your team spirit, to check out your event organization skills, and those who are coming from outside world will also know that you are good at event organization, so that let the world know that you know this skill also. And finally, right, exam results are equally important, but they are not the only important things. Exam results also speak loud about you, about your reading, about your knowledge, about your time management skills, right, writing skills, expression skills, and so on and so forth, right? So this is quality check number 3. If you do this 1, 2, 3, I will go back a little and I will come forward just to reiterate, right? Quality check number 1, before every lecture, ensure that you know the outcome of this lecture, right? Ensure every time that you are able to do these things, these 4 things: create, evaluate, analyze, or apply, right? Right, only these things, right? And finally, when we say quality check number 3, that let the world know that you know, and the way of doing it is competitions, newspapers, media, event organization, and exam results. Hopefully, I have given you in nutshell what this outcome based education is that and how you can make use of this outcome based education. First, being selfish for your own self to improve your own personality, to improve your own skills, knowledge, right? And then letting that improved personality help the institution to begin with, society at the next level, and country and economy at the farthest level. So if you are able to do this, if you are able to be successful and be selfish to achieve something, right, for yourself, I think you will be useful for others. Right. I'm not saying that right now you are useless. Right now also you are useful because everybody is useful in this world. That what I'm trying to identify is that are you in a position to improve your usefulness so that you can be used by one and all, not only by your family, friends, but society at large. So are you that useful person wherein everybody will be asking your help, right? So for first step was being selfish, right? Be religious in your approach is my request to you. Be religious in your approach. Decide what you want to do. Have plan and targets. Unless you have those plan and targets, right? I don't think that you are traveling anywhere, right? Participate in the process. Right? At many times you understand that they want you to submit assignment. They want you to submit assignment. You or some of you copy that assignment and submit it because submission is required, right? Submission is related to marks and therefore you wanted to have marks, but then the very process for which that assignment was given to you, the very purpose is lost because you never believed on the process. You never believed that there is utility of me submitting the assignment, me doing and working on the assignment. Right? Maybe the assignment problems were not that attractive, whether they were not inviting me to do something or go and stretch my own skills and knowledge and the time, right? So whatever I have as a resource, they were not stretching you. Therefore, assignments were also seem to be boring assignments. Assignments were also seem to be boring assignments, right? Just to give you one hint on this, right? One hint on this is that there was a movie called Dangal, and many of you have seen it. Dangal movie, right? So that father who wanted her his two daughters, to excel well in that sport, right? Wrestling. But then he was knowing the outcome. He was not able to communicate successfully, effectively, this outcome to these two daughters. So they were doing it without putting heart into it. So they never believed on the process, right? They were not knowing actually why they are doing it. And one day it's right to them through one third party that whatever their father is doing, it is for their own good. He is trying to give them some identity. Once they started believing in the process, right, believing in what they were doing, the results were in front of the world. So what we are trying to do is that when a teacher, right, when college asks you to do something without having any element of doubt, if you don't know the purpose, seek that purpose, ask for that, why you are doing this, right? After explanation also, if you don't get it, as you believe in God, have faith in the process, and I can guarantee you that the process or the journey itself is better than the destination. The journey itself, because this journey is a journey of transformation. We are expecting transformation in the personalities. We are expecting transformation into abilities. So once you believe, then only this is possible. So my request to you is that be religious in your approach, have faith, have faith. So finally, what I'm trying to suggest to you is that quality of institution is measured by first, quality of teachers, second, quality of students, and most importantly, quality of teaching, learning, which is happening there, right? So Teaching learning does not mean that lecturing. Lecturing is just a part of it. There are multiple things happening simultaneously when you are engaged in the activities. Right? So infrastructure, you have good infrastructure, you have got heritage at your backing, you have got people who really care for you and your wellness, right? So if that is the case, it is a duty of a student also to respond to whatever they are trying to do, even if you don't understand it right now, right now, try it, because you were not understanding at that time also when your mother used to brush your teeth. If you remember that, right? You were not interested in brushing your teeth, right? But still that activity was done, right? Latter part you understood that that was important and necessary activity, as far as your own hygiene is concerned. So if you don't understand and still somebody is saying that please do it, try to get the purpose. Even if you don't get the purpose, I say that have faith, believe in it, and act according to the directions of your teachers, and you will notice that something good is happening to you, right? So that is what I wanted to tell you, that something is happening in the background. The overall education system is changing and you need to respond. Right? So with that, I'm coming to the end of it. I'm making you a final request. Teachers, don't say I completed all 100% syllabus. Students, don't say I attended all 100% lectures. Look at the outcomes and their attainment. After attending these 100% lectures, if you are unable to reach to the destination, that is outcomes, there is no use of your attendance. After taking 100% syllabus or 100% lectures, if the student is not getting the outcome of it, there is no change in the skills, abilities and attitudes, the whole lecturing has got wasted. So we have lost an important time, right? So I am basically a student of economics, and whenever I say that economics teaches you very good things in life, let us try. What you have wasted or invested in say last 50-60 minutes, you need to understand this. Wasted or invested will be decided whether you are getting any returns out of it or you are not getting any returns out of it. See, my 60 minutes or so are invested or wasted, right? Your 60 minutes or so are wasted or invested. But economics tells you that it is not question of your or mine time. How many people are right now on this platform who are listening to this? If they are 100, then 100 hours of our Indian economy or the land which you are saying are lost or are invested. So are we going to give the return to our society, to our economy, which is in proportion to these 100 hours? If we are 100 students, if you are 200, then 200 hours. So don't you think that if we don't act, that will be a criminal wastage of very important resource called time. So please go beyond this 100% thing. Look at the outcomes, and even if you are able to attend your outcomes with 60%, 70%, that will be a good thing happening to the education. That will really improve teaching learning, your college, its grading, also the people who are coming out of this, the graduates who are coming out of this will be really useful for society as a whole, right? So thank you once again for giving me this thing. Right now, I suppose the platform should be open for questions and answers, right? So thanks for being online.
Thank you, sir, for giving your valuable insights on the topic. It was a very interesting and informative session. There are a few questions posted by the participants which we would like you to take. With your permission, may I ask you the questions, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay. The first question is, what are the possible benefits of implementing an outcome-based curriculum in higher education?
See, the first thing is that, the first thing is that there is no option. You have to implement it. Number one. Number two, benefits are many because you know what is to be achieved. If you don't believe on the targets which are specified for you by the UGC or NAC, your college, your teachers, and even the student representatives can sit together and decide your own outcomes. If the outcomes given by the regulator is not acceptable to you, you can straight away go and redefine those outcomes so that you become really useful for the world. So that is the benefit of outcome based education.
Okay, sir. The next question is, how students' learning outcomes can be helpful in monitoring the students' progress?
Can you repeat the question? I could not listen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How students' learning outcomes can be helpful in monitoring the students' progress?
Right. So that is what we are saying, that every lecture is a station, and destination is that. For example, if you talk about this second outcome. So every graduate coming out of this education system is expected to be the effective communicator or ethical leader, whatever, or team member. So you must be knowing that when you go, you know yourself. You know whether you are confident, you know whether you are able to speak, you know whether you are able to write, whether you have got good vocabulary or not. So there is no need for others to tell you that where you are. So when they say that, once you know that the regulator wants you, the college wants you, the teachers want you to be a good communicator, right? Or effective communicator, then you can know that, okay, I'm good at this, I need to improve a little bit here. Right. So once that target or frames are set, then you will see that every time you will see that even the accounts lecture, whether he or she has given you something which is contributing to this outcome. If not, you should seek the clarification. Was it not one of the objectives? So you will notice that even accounts tell you to be structured, to be methodical, right? So that is how the things are.
Okay, sir. The next question is, how is OBE different from the traditional approach of teaching and learning?
Right. So I have covered it. Let us understand these two. The outcome and output. There are two words. Right. So what is output? Output is you give some input and that input is getting processed and you get at the end. For example, output is in terms of what we call efforts put in by the teachers. Teacher has conducted all the lectures. Teacher has completed the syllabus is output. 100% syllabus is covered is output. What student has learned and what student is able to do is ability. Right? So it's outcome. Is this thing clear?
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes.
The difference between two, right? What teachers? Yes. So the output is teacher centric, outcome is student centric.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your presentation.
Thank you.
We have come to the concluding part of today's program. I once again extend my sincere thank you to our chief guest, Dr. Sujit Mitra sir, for speaking to us on a very important topic and encouraging the students with your impactful thoughts. A big thank you. Thank you, sir. A big thank you to our respected principal, Dr. Katie Thomas sir. I wish to thank all the teachers for their encouragement and support. A special thank you goes to our SDP organizing team. I wish to thank our dear participants for their sincere response. It was a pleasure being with you all today. I request our participants to please fill the feedback form and let us know about your response to today's session. Thank you one and all. We will meet again on Monday with another interesting and informative session. Till then, take care and stay safe.